Wonderful. So, I mean, we've been discussing over the past 3 sessions a little bit about creativity and what that means for the various individuals, be it on a project basis, be it on supporting projects. Maybe we can start off and understand what creativity means to you and how can we unleash creativity through blockchain technology.
So first of all, it's really great to be here. So I'm not sure if most people here, does anyone know about Elrond? Okay, a few people. How about MultiversX? Okay, a few more people. That's really good. That's really good. So briefly, just setting the context, MultiversX is one of the most advanced blockchain architectures in the space. We're built this technical powerhouse to essentially accelerate the advent of a high bandwidth, low latency, transparent financial system that can extend beyond the physical world into the metaverse worlds that are being built, and then it's compatible and usable with AI tools. We're having a lot of really cool things in the pipeline that are constantly being launched. I'm also here with our team, and it's great to have a conversation. Coming back to creativity, I think that with the advent of AI tools, everything that we thought was sort of outside of the area that we could automate has been now slightly shaken. You all of a sudden, in 5 minutes, can create an entire talk, an entire slide, an entire scenario for a movie, ideas for whatever you want to create. And so this means that if you learn to use the tools that we have today, you can augment and enhance human creativity at the speed and scale that we could never have done before. And so the question is, how do we integrate that? How can we use that? And is it related to blockchains and the metaverse? Because it seems like blockchains, the metaverse, and AI tools will be the fundamental forces that will probably shape the next decades.
Fantastic. And I mean, tell me a little bit more about that efficiency side of things. You mentioned, I think as human beings, we're always trying to be more efficient. I think the Swiss always tried to be on time, and like if the train is 1 minute late, it's a complete disaster. So we're always about trying to be more efficient with all the technologies we're bringing out. Tell us more about how blockchain is potentially a missing piece there to allow us to be more efficient in our day-to-day.
Sure. If we think about the economic problems we have in the world from first principles, it seems you can boil everything down to 3 types of problems. You have efficiency problem, you have distribution problems, and you have resource problems. Efficiency problems just means that you have in developed world systems that are completely misaligned and broken. Even though you might see the system, you might see the components that are broken, you cannot fix it because the incentives are so misaligned that you cannot move forward. So how blockchain solves this is by putting transparency there. You see human behavior changing immediately. Having the incentives in place to reward positive behavior and then transparency to just disincentivize negative behavior would immediately add efficiency even to the most broken or inefficient systems. Then the second part is, of course, there's still more than 1.5 billion people that don't have access to financial resources, to financial infrastructure, and so forth. So the idea of taking this technology and making it accessible to anyone, anywhere in the world should be a very, very common sense, at the same time, valuable thing that we should do. And then on the last point, the key idea is that with blockchains and with token economies, you can create, design, and incentivize people like never before with completely new resources that you don't need to take from somewhere else, but you can create and then bind the people together and build on that. So I do believe that we've had these conversations for a long time now, but we're now at a point where we see the technology being scalable enough to accommodate and address some of these use cases. And we also see the applications that really push the boundaries to go mainstream.
Okay, thank you. And I mean, look, we're talking about efficiency, right? I mean, efficiency we always talk about as a strength, but it's not always a strength. I mean, efficiency today, we all have telephones in our pocket. We believe that we can get data very efficiently, be it news, and then we have the advent, as we've seen a lot, let's say with the pandemic and other kind of, let's say, disinformation, that efficiency is not always good. Getting quick news is not always the right thing. I mean, here, can you tell us maybe a little bit about how you believe blockchain can add a layer of authenticity to that efficiency and allow us to receive data which might be a little bit, more authentic?
Well, there are 2 points to this. I think the financial system, if you think about it, is still very much lagging. If you look at the internet and look at performance in terms of efficiency, you have instant almost everything, instant videos, internet communication, instant entertainment, and so forth. And it still seems the financial system, although it has made some good steps forward, it's not with internet scale performance yet. So blockchain can definitely simplify some of the streams, add the transparency, and bring that type of performance. But with this advent of new AI tools, I think we're not only going to see unforeseen opportunities. Things change all overnight. You can create all the interesting things that you always wanted, but you could not. But then at the same time, we're going to face some very fascinating and deep challenges for society, because very soon we're not going to be able to tell what's real and what's fiction, what's true, what's not true, precisely because you can manufacture something that looks like reality beyond a certain doubt, beyond your ability to detect that with your, let's say, human sensory input and so forth. So at that point, and I think we're already there. Fake news is just the smallest thing that you basically see on the surface, but deep fakes that will be used for sort of almost like terrorism, digital terrorism acts, where you break the stock market, change elections, do stuff like that. I don't think this is even something new. It has been tried to some extent, but to the point where we'll first see one time the stock market being stopped just because it's broken like that or exploited in this way. At that point, we'll start to also step back and look at things in a way where most of our society and processes rely on our ability to make these decisions without any devices needed on top of our sensors. So you can, by means of intelligence, say, because you're answering this, I can tell you're a human. This has been true up until very recently, not true anymore. You can fake that, mock that, and convince anyone that you're anything just by typing a few prompts. Beyond that, visuals are not reliable anymore. You can, again, create scenarios where your eyes can betray you in a certain way. You see someone, they have a visual overlay on top and so forth. Sound, I'm not even going to mention that. You can create clone voices, edit them, and so forth. What I'm saying here is, if this is true, it will require us to reimagine all of the processes we use in society for us to continue to coexist or productively coexist in the age of strong AI. And so blockchains, I do believe, are fundamental to what's coming next, in the sense that not only brings do we have, it's almost like, I'm taking this to the extreme. It's almost like you have an all-powerful genie that's a strong AI that's going to enable you to literally create and edit everything. But the problem is that if you can edit literally everything, meaning that you can edit history, you can edit interactions, you can edit your company documents, that raises some problems. Then you have to ask, what can a state do? Can it edit people out of existence like the Soviet Union used to do? Will it use these tools for good? Will it use it for bad? And so blockchains will probably be the necessary counterforce to that, that will add the ground to having everything transparently done, having abilities to almost have the counterbalance to deep fakes, which will be a sort of deep truth. Question is, how do you apply deep truth? Where would you apply it? Do you apply it as a metadata to almost any files? Will there be a kind of history to documents that you can never edit because it's stored somewhere that you can not, where you have immutability, you have this security and transparency part? This is the most interesting question. We have some very fascinating tools that we're building and are just about to unveil on this front. But I think just as with the early internet days, you're not going to only have the benefits. You're going to probably hit your head against the wall a few times. And it is, when people say that AI can be more dangerous than nukes, it's not a joke. And it definitely should put us in a frame of thought where we love the opportunities. I mean, this is something we've never seen with all the tools that we've had. But we should not ignore the challenges, and blockchain does address some of these fundamental challenges.
Yeah, with great power comes great responsibility, to not try to quote Spider-Man in any way. It's definitely one whereby it's very scary for everybody, I think, in this room. I think we're seeing that more and more. But I think everybody is here today because they see that opportunity. Maybe we can have a closing note here on that opportunity, and you can talk to us a little bit about, some of the incentives of how individuals in this room, the diverse individuals that are here, of how they can get involved into Web3, how you incentivize builders, community members to be involved within MultiversX, to be involved within this journey, and hopefully to add that silver lining of good to the greater power that could be.
Sure. I do think that whatever we're looking at as challenges, this is literally the best time to be alive. And it's the best time because it takes us out of this, let's say, ordinary stream of life, where you either see the great opportunities that lie ahead and seize them and make something of them, or you have threats that almost force you to wake up, to look at the things, to reinvent yourself. And specifically on MultiversX, we've tried to build this architecture that is very similar to internet in terms of performance. And at the same time, we have an extraordinary community around the world of builders, creators, businesses, and so forth. The way we've thought about the tools that we've built is, how do we not only address, let's say, smart contract building, interaction with all the tools that you can generally see in the Web3 space, but we've thought a lot, what would be the simplest way to take this technology, abstract its complexity completely, and make sure that we speak a language that can go and reach until the ends of the world, until the people that are not focused on technology can use this technology, can focus on their benefits. And so we've thought of 4 types of tools. There's Xportal, which is this super app. You can look at it. It's extremely simple, extremely compelling in terms of UX. And there you can interact with crypto, multiple things related to crypto, NFTs, and all of that. But on top of it, we have gamification, you have AI avatars, you have your digital ID type of thing with which you can log into all these dApps, all these games, or different ideas. And with Xportal, you can almost think about it, this bridge to other worlds. You'll be able to do entertainment, you'll be able to participate in events, to just jump into games, share ideas and thoughts with your friends and all of that. But the point should be that it's not about blockchain. It is, on the other hand, about the simplicity and compelling way of how this application can add value to whatever you're doing as an end user. Xfabric takes this other approach where it says, what's the simplest way to, again, abstract complexity and create the best tools for builders, where you essentially either can run these tools through an API, to a web wizard, or AI prompt. And these tools means you can build tokens, you can build DAOs, you can build more complex content management systems and all of that. If you can do them simply, all of a sudden this idea that is appealing to a niche of really technical and brilliant, interesting people can become appealing to everyone in the world because it's so simple. X Worlds is, of course, a bridge to other metaverse worlds. It creates a structure for a network of interoperable metaverses that are built on top of blockchain, rooted so that you can define rules and all of that. This is very much in the process of being built. Of course, extremely tough to build all of this. And lastly, there's a point of integrating AI at the heart of all these tools. We'll have a sort of AI genie, just a different flavor of ChatGPT with which you can play. It has access to all your blockchain data. You can do transactions. You can do all this interesting and cool behaviors. And if I zoom out, at the end of the day, it seems like there is this revolution in an interface right now with AI, where all of a sudden, everything you had up until now seems much more complex, much more difficult than typing or even speaking, and then the AI answering you. And you've probably all seen that the AI with each new week becomes incredibly more powerful, more advanced, more creative, and more useful. And I don't think, again, there's a better time than the one we have right now to make great use of these tools. So please jump on Twitter, look at MultiversX. We have a Telegram group, we have a Builders Discord. Very curious to hear feedbacks and hear from you. We're also here with our great team, so happy to have all the relevant conversations. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.